like, you don't have an issue with me. You have an issue with God who created me. That's a comforting thought in terms of me being, commented on. And so I sat down, and it dawned on me that by laughing at a person, by laughing at what has been created, aren't you in essence laughing at the creator?
Hey guys, it's Julie here. How are you doing? Happy new month. How have you been? Me personally, I've been a bit under the weather, but I'm finally coming up for air. And if my voice sounds off, it's because I'm fighting a cold. This cold has dealt with me. I'm balled up in a corner asking for it to let go of my hair, but I'll be fine. I wanted to talk about this post that went viral and started a sort of debate online, and just talk about certain things that I observed. So a week or two back, a certain post from a woman started gaining traction online, and it just sparked a lot of debate, which I thought was interesting. People magazine made an article on this. It all started when a woman posted a video of herself on her platform, and the post gained a lot of traction. And you know how the internet is. Once the algorithm pushes your content and you're exposed to new audience in your little corner of the internet, you are promptly assaulted. You have to be prepared to face all manners of comments and weirdness from literal strangers who don't receive much love from home and decided to gain the attention they never got growing up from saying vile things to random people online.
Yes, my features are, a mixture of my mother and my father and other, distant generations back. And so I carry their features because they are my blood. But again, God was the one who orchestrated the fact that I'll get my father's nose and his eyebrows, and his mouth. Actually, a lot of my features are from my dad.
So this woman is a Zambian lawyer known as Naomi Pelula. I hope I said the name right. And yeah, let's talk about the post she made, the reactions it got, and what we can observe and understand from this. According to the quote from Naomi Pelula on People magazine, she says, "I am not an aesthetically beautiful person. I'm not, and that's okay. But I love myself and I can be myself. And with that is a certain level of beauty, because there is a light that everyone has and that deserves to shine." If you're familiar with my content or talking points on this channel, you observe that I've always maintained that as long as certain features are considered beautiful, there'll always be people who fall on the opposite end of the line. I know, in a perfect world full of rainbows, sunshine, and all things made of sugar and spice, we would all be beautiful and we would all be special. But it doesn't work like that. Blame it on evolution or adaptation or societal influences or just biology, but there will always be people that are considered unattractive as long as there are people that are considered attractive. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? There will be certain features on people that are just not conventionally attractive. Conventionally, meaning a large percentage of people just don't find these features appealing. Now, this video is not to jump on the bandwagon and call this lady any names or add to the disrespect online, but I think it's interesting how society has tied one's worth and dignity to how they visually present. One of the highest compliments you can give people is telling them they look good. Not how kind they are, how helpful, how smart. It's something that we can assess immediately we meet someone, and we can say to them, "Wow, you look good," and then they feel good about themselves. And when they are told the opposite, they feel bad about themselves. I'm not saying compliments centered around looks are bad. Everyone likes to be told they look good, except of course the person is battling some deep-seated trauma. Speaking on their looks might trigger them. But for the most part, people like to hear that they are beautiful, and it's not a bad thing. People strive to be beautiful. You know, if I can't be beautiful facially, then I'll go to the gym and I'll have the best body. If not that, then I'll have the prettiest dentition and smile. If not that, then I'll have the best looking toes. Well, if not visually, then I'll have the best personality and aura that people can't help but find me beautiful when I walk into a room. If we're being honest, being good looking makes life a little more easier for people. Some of you may already know how I feel about those girls who make those TikToks talking about, oh my days, woe is me. It's so hard to be a pretty girl. I'm scared for life and I'm scared for my life. Everyone just wants me. Like, boo-hoo, girl, cry me a river. It's so easy to be ugly. That's what people don't understand. Like, it's so easy to not be conventionally attractive. Seriously. Let yourself go, gain a bunch of weight, and stop the whole beauty maintenance thing, and let's see how you like it on the other side, you know?
The downsides of pretty privilege. When no one tells you about being pretty and it's just misogyny, like, you're just describing misogyny. This is nothing new. I've seen like 5 or 6 posts and it's girls being like, yeah, I'm pretty, so men don't treat me as a person, they treat me as a body, like I get sexualized, I get objectified. That also happens to women who don't fall within the beauty standards. It feels like a weird way to like humble brag and be like, yeah, I'm pretty, so I go through this. No, we're women, so we all go through this.
There's a reason why there are so many cosmetic procedures and surgeries and no cosmetic surgery. No one is clamoring to be ugly. If not, society would have provided a way for people to be that. Although, with how botched and messed up a lot of these procedures are these days, you guys might be onto something, you know. The point is, if being too beautiful was so bad, many people would make it their goal to be not beautiful. But how often do you see that happen? Now, seeing this woman and the different reactions she got from people trying to navigate how to talk to or address someone who is not conventionally attractive is something we can learn from. Again, I'm not trying to be mean or dunk on the next woman by saying that she's not conventionally attractive. But like I said, there is a level of beauty that we can all agree that exists universally. There's also a flip side of beauty. I would say that being attractive is having features that harmonize well and is easy on the eyes. Some people have that and some people don't. I don't make the rules. So when this woman's post began to go viral, people would flood her comment section in her social media pages and be rude to her, calling her all sorts of names, making fun of her appearance, and she herself has acknowledged that she may not look like what is conventionally attractive, but she loves herself. And you guys know, when posts like this explode and people get invested, there will become a sort of damage control being done by people with opposing views. I mean, people who find it mean the kind of comments that this lady got on her posts and sympathize with her. So I wanted to focus on why people keep getting it wrong when it comes to the everybody is beautiful conversation. On one hand, there is beauty is in the eye of the beholder argument, that one person may see someone as not beautiful and someone else will see them as beautiful. And I think that's great. Far be it from me to spend my time trying to convince someone that somebody that they find beautiful is ugly. That's very jobless behavior in my opinion. But there is also the idea that beauty is more fixed, objective. Something is either beautiful or not, and everyone is supposed to see it the same way. I'll point out a few of my observations from this conversation and you can tell me which of these arguments you agree with. Is beauty subjective or objective? Also, there tends to be this extreme view on this issue that if someone is not jaw-droppingly beautiful and looking like an angel on earth, then they are ugly. Truth is, far too many people fall under the umbrella of just being average. We look really good on a good day and unremarkable on those other days, and there is nothing wrong with it. A lot of us are average looking and that's perfectly fine. Now let's look at some of the reactions this post got on Twitter, aka X. One of the reactions that I noticed was something like this. And this is from the people who are trying to defend this young woman who got bullied. So this person posts, they want us to hate our features so bad. She's beautiful. And she posts what looks like a cartoon of someone that sort of resembles Miss Naomi Palula. So from our posts, I'm assuming the they in question who want us to quote unquote hate our features are the powers that be, aka white people or white supremacy. So this is something I wanted to talk about. First, I can bet many of the negative comments that this woman got right from childhood came from people close to her, aka her classmates, neighbors, etc. People who were probably other black people. And even online, if you check the demographic most of these comments came from, it's possibly other black people. And there's this whole thing about they want us to hate our features so bad. I want to see the person who posted this picture and see how similar she looks to this woman she posted. Oh, would you look at that? They look nothing alike, completely different features. The only similarity they have is that they're both black women, African women, right? Okay. Anyways, so the thing is, this type of thing happens all the time. If there is a white kid who grew up not attractive, chances are the most people who would have something negative to say are other white people. It's just a proximity thing. That being said, this thing a lot of black people do, where they feel like anyone with keen features or a nice facial structure is Eurocentric looking, and people with more prominent or exaggerated features are deeply African, is a bit strange now. I saw someone respond to this. It's okay to be honest. This isn't typical black features. This is an unusual exaggeration of features, and all races have this. It's rare in all races, but it exists. And you can see a video of a Caucasian man with exaggerated features as well. And I think this is the truth many black people skirt around. Features like this woman's are rare. Sure, there are certain features that are deemed African, but it seems like with this beauty thing, when an African person has features that align well and are deemed attractive, conventionally attractive, people quickly want to label them as Eurocentric or not having Afrocentric features. Or they start questioning their background to know if they have some white blood in their ancestry. They just immediately want to credit African or black beauty to whiteness. Who do I give this credit to? Surely this person is not African enough. They are pretty. If you watched if you watch Love Island, or you're like me and you're trying your best to avoid everything about that godforsaken show and its fans, you must have seen this face on one blog or the other. So this is Shelly. She was a contestant whom everyone came together to gush about her beauty, and of course she also got slammed with the Eurocentric accusations. This is a woman that looks very African. She's Haitian, she's black, dark skinned, but her being beautiful made people question her ancestry, and people starting to bring up accusations of her looking Eurocentric. So it's kind of backwards, you know. Black people want to reclaim their power by saying, if you find one of us globally attractive, we have to unpack why. Because surely this is suspicious. There is Eurocentrism at play. But if you find one of us globally unattractive, then we also have to unpack why, because there is Afrocentrism at play. I think it's a weird form of self-love and acceptance, and I spoke more about it in my video titled The Myth of Black Beauty, or something like that. If you don't find someone who happens to be black attractive, they'll say, oh, you only do that because they are black. Then if you find someone who is black attractive, they'll say it's because they look white. People find it so hard to take black beauty for what it is. I also think it's ironic how in the picture this person posted, she has tweaked this woman's features to make them more keen. The eyes are almond shaped, the smile lines are gone, there is blush on her cheeks. Eurocentric if we're going by their language. So it's like, in order for you to campaign for this woman's looks, you had to tweak them to make her more conventionally attractive, and that in itself says a lot more than anything you've written. But let's look at another reaction that gained traction. Again, the point of this is not to kick someone who's already down. There is a point or a few points that I'm trying to make, so let's observe some of the way people talk about issues like this. Someone said, she's a lawyer. Most of the racists who trolled her aren't Asian in real life. And another Twitter user responded, she does not have to be a lawyer to be treated with dignity. She just has a big nose, a feature that is very common among many poor Africans who also not be considered Asian in real life by many standards, but they also deserve respect. Now, I agreed with the first sentence, so then this person lost me with the big nose is common among poor Africans. I think I'm more puzzled at how she inserted poor. Like, how did you just manage to sneak that in? If she had just said Africans, I would have said, debatable, but okay. I'm confused now. Does poverty increase the size of people's nose? Mind you, the woman in question seems to be doing well for herself. This woman, Naomi Pelula, she's well-traveled, well-spoken, and seemed to be living well. So I wonder how the big nose syndrome still got to her. Like I said, these overly quote-unquote pro-black people can say the oddest things when trying to make a point. For what it's worth, I think that nose shape is more the thing that is African, not size. Any race can have large nose. Black people just tend to have a different nose shape on an average than other races. Your nose can be flat and small. In fact, I think I see more noses that are on the smaller side than I see big noses. And I'm talking on a day-to-day basis. I don't remember the last time I saw someone with an overly large nose. It's usually something that when you notice it is prominent because it's not so common to see. I don't think I've ever met anyone with similar features to this before, but I digress, or not. A Twitter user responds, I have to disagree. A big nose isn't an African feature. It exists in every population, and reducing it to one group is just a stereotype. She does not back down, no. She says a big nose is an African feature. It does not mean it is bad or a stereotype. What do you mean? Another user. Why bring poverty into it? A big nose isn't about class. Anyone can have one. Linking features to social status just repeats the same kind of judgment you're critiquing. This person again. Because I am a poor person talking about poor people and we have big noses, we cannot surgically adjust them. Oh my god, I hate when people don't use the right punctuations. What is this? Okay, let me reread. Because I am a poor person talking about poor people and we have big noses, we cannot surgically adjust them, but we deserve respect. Why would I care about rich Africans and class traitors who want to be Europeans? Does anyone speak weirdo? Because this is a lot. Nobody gets nose reconstruction surgeries than Caucasians. How are you calling rich black people class traitors who want to be Europeans? Oh my god, my head hurts. There is a lot to unpack with this one. So, big nose equals poverty? Response. You're making this conclusion yourself. It is only the poor who cannot pay to fit into beauty standards. I did not say big is the same as poor. You see, guys, all Africans are born ugly. Then when they become rich, they can then pay to shrink their gigantic features, hereby becoming beautiful and Eurocentric. Aww. Ciao. Anyways. Damn, you can't even be ugly in peace. It's not like she's begging anyone to call her beautiful. She knows she isn't attractive, but she has every right to post pics of herself enjoying life without the hate. Why are people so mean and hateful? Response. This is such a effed up comment. Who the F are you to say she isn't beautiful or attractive? Talking about people being mean when you are people. Sit the F down. Okay, so my main point is that by large, we find the idea of people not finding us beautiful to be mean and cruel. So here's the thing. There is beautiful and there is ugly. And they both exist whether we like it or not. Even more so depending on societal constructs based on where you live. What I mean is, some countries may find darker skin as a disease. Korea. Yeah. And you move to a different country or state and you're deemed more attractive there. I think that a lot of the hurt that people feel is not from people finding them unattractive, but how society dehumanizes people that are deemed ugly. I said this before. If I see someone I don't find attractive, you won't find me lying to their face and saying that they're the most stunning person I ever laid my eyes on, right? To me, that's just reverse bullying. Like, okay, tell the conventionally unattractive person that they're the most beautiful human you ever set your eyes on, while knowing that you would slit your wrists if you look like them for a day. But, it's like, okay, keep lying through your teeth. Like, I won't lie, but I also don't think there is any sense in going out of your way to make fun of someone's looks to their face. You are doing all this for what? Oh my gosh, you're so ugly. Okay, thank you, Frank. That's so original and creative. You're just as frank as your name implies. Without your input, I would have never realized this revolution about myself. Wow, you should donate your brain to science, Frank. I think it's so unnecessary. I've said this before. I'm not above finding people ugly. I've seen people before and I've thought to myself, wow, that face is unique. Even the lady herself said this.
I think it's very easy to, especially in this world of social media, to look at people's videos and posts and stuff like that and respond with derogatory remarks, or even if you don't, some of us don't even post it, but we'll think it and do that and not respond, or we just laugh on our own.
I think deep down, we all have an idea of what looks good and what doesn't. Well, some don't have to dig that deep down at all. It's right at the tips of their fingers and their tongue. And they're not shy to let you know their thoughts. But a lot of the time, when we try to tell people that they are worth something, we tell them, you are beautiful. Like a lot of people are doing with this woman. So some even went as far as airbrushing her pictures, changing her hair texture, her skin tone, just so they can find her features more palatable. But this is someone that is telling you that I love myself. She refuses to delete her pictures because she has a right to post herself as much as the next person. And if her looks offend you, cry and gnash your teeth, you'll be fine. I'm sure she has people in her life who see her every day and love her regardless, and I think that that's beautiful. And although we should not always prioritize beauty, there is beauty in love. And I think that there is beauty in people being able to sympathize with her and see past the outside to the inner. And there's also beauty in kindness. I don't know whether some of you were never told, if you don't have anything nice to say, then don't say anything at all. When I saw a video she made addressing this, she said that she spoke to her sister about the outpour of hate comments on her post and how they triggered her, and her sister asked her to do some introspection.
Partly because after a conversation I had with my sister, and so I was telling her about it, and she was just asking me a very simple question. Yes, you're pissed off about this, but what exactly is pissing you off? Like, what exactly is this unearthing in you? Can you have a sit down with yourself and find out? So that's what I did. I sat down with myself and I was trying to figure it out. Like,
I think that it's sad that it's the one who has to deal with the harassment that then has to do the work to quote unquote heal, not the unloved, unwashed, and untrained people who flood people's comments with negativity and intend to hurt. Why does the onus lie on the person who was bullied to heal and sit with their feelings, and not the bully who goes around hurting others? But I also get it, peace of mind, right? Because you can't control other people, but you can control how you react to other people. And you can't afford to fall apart every time that someone says something that you don't like about your features. So I get it. You can't completely hinge your self-worth on how other people see you or when they say something that is meant to hurt you. You have to build yourself up in this world and develop tough skin, especially if you fall under the umbrella of looking different or unconventional. Because like I always say, we live in a world where beauty is a currency, and if you lack it, it can and will be used against you. I think the observations from this is that people don't have to be attractive in order for us not to be jackasses, you know? Oh, don't bully her, she's beautiful, instead of don't bully this person regardless of if they are beautiful or ugly. This is one of the core reasons as to why we keep tying one's right to respect, value, and dignity to how they look. It's okay to not find somebody attractive, it's fine, but don't be an animal about it, you know? My other point in this video is that a lot of black people need to separate themselves from this logic of anything that is unattractive is unapologetically black, and anything that is conventionally attractive is at its core European. It's an odd way of being pro-black in my opinion, but I would love to hear your thoughts on it. Do you think beauty is in the eye of the beholder, or that beauty and ugliness are objective? But if you made it far into this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!